Yay!
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another week, another XGR, Xpound Gaming Radio, where we talk about a couple things in the gaming world, like some news, catch up, where we talk about games we played over the past week, up to 2 of each, and then our topic, which this week is a little bit of E3 wrap up. You know, what we thought of it overall, not who won, because that's silly, but just what we liked, maybe what we didn't like. In a broad general sense, we had those. Over, the ones where we had specialized one, but maybe the whole thing in general.
I think you're just afraid to say who won because you totally know it was Ubisoft.
Yeah.
I think we know who lost, if anything. Like, there's not a winner, but definitely is a loser.
I can agree with that. But anyway, so
and that was the PC one. Because none of us watched it.
Yeah. It's just weird anyway.
It was.
They needed like a giant throne for that one. We're not allowed to watch that one. We're not Master Race people. We've touched a controller.
For PC, you could have a controller, you just have to plug it in and do some newfangled shit or whatever, do that tool or...
No, they look down on those people.
Or thing.
Those are like a lower caste of Master Race people. If true ones have to only touch the keyboard and mouse. They can't even touch a controller at a store. Otherwise, they have to use bleach on their fingertips or something.
Like I said, if they burst into flames, because that'd be pretty attractive.
Yes.
Well, what if it's a Steam controller, which is only available for PCs?
Nope.
Ooh.
No deal.
Just wasting even more money.
Those are casuals.
Yeah.
Real controllers have 108 keys. Yeah. All right, so with our news...
I heard food.
Oh, no, that's my cat.
Okay. Hi, cat.
Marshak says hi.
Mr. Sparkle Bells. I don't know. All right, so Pew, your first news?
My first news is something interesting. As opposed to something boring, because that's what I would pick it as news. Legend of Zelda is still going to be a live-action show, but not by Netflix, but by Amazon. And they said their first, it should start, the first season, I guess, if they tend to do multiple, should start sometime early in 2016. So, yeah, it's an Amazon original now. I don't know if that's what they call it. Like a Netflix original, so...
That seems really weird.
Isn't it?
Not just because, Netflix don't get it, or whether or not which service is better. Over here, I know Amazon's better, but I know over there it's debatable because they have a lot of the same content, so it becomes moot.
Yeah.
But it's a case of the reason it's weird to me is, do you remember when the Wii U came out and Amazon and Nintendo had a big falling out and Amazon wasn't stocking their consoles and stuff? It's it's weird that Nintendo's then this is the perfect people to trust with our game, with our property.
I guess it's kind of odd. But yeah, so Amazon's getting it now in 2016. That's actually not far away. That means they already have their shit practically done and they just post-editing now.
They're going to deliver it by drone.
That would be cool if I ordered it and a drone came to my house and be like, here's your Legend of Zelda copy, enjoy the DVD, thanks.
Hey, listen, here's your copy.
Hey, listen, watch our shit. Hey, listen, watch our shit.
Would you like to...
If I order something Sonic, will the drone be a fox with spinning tails?
Only if it's an exclusive deal with Amazon.
Yeah.
I would appreciate that. But yeah, I don't know. I still give it the benefit of the doubt until I actually see it suck. I mean, who knows what's gonna happen.
There you go. It could be amazing.
It could be good. It could be terrible. I don't know. Because I haven't, been behind the scenes watching them do their shit. I haven't read the script. I haven't seen them.
This summer, Shia LaBeouf is Link.
Isn't
Whitney
it Shia
Cummings
LaBeouf?
is Zelda.
That's gotta be Channing Tatum or whatever.
Yeah, and like I said,
It's
and
Shia
Whitney
LaBeouf,
Cummings.
isn't
What do you reckon for that one, Rick? Whitney Cummings as Zelda.
Now you gotta get someone from the female Ghostbusters.
Who's on the
Kristen
female
Wiig? I don't
Ghostbusters?
know.
Even know
I
any of them.
think I know that name. I don't.
Melissa McCarthy?
Sure. I don't know. I hadn't heard of any of them, so.
Yeah, 'cause I don't know any of the female Ghostbusters.
Jim tried to make it
Maybe,
better,
like,
but
insert
these
new
two were in
female
a couple episodes of SNL. I'm like, SNL hasn't been funny in like 10 years, but thanks, Jim.
I only know one of the actors from the new one. A couple, but only because happened to have seen like a film of a couple, and the main girl, one of the fat ones in Mike and Molly, which is a sitcom made by the people who do Big Bang Theory, which that's like haha nerds suck. This is haha fat people suck. Just like 2.5 Men was haha sex joke. It's weird.
Wasted my career.
Yeah, like I said, it's weird he couldn't put them all into one show and come up with one with multiple different layers of jokes, but that's cool.
That's like so much work.
So I actually have to think about stuff instead of allowing my sea monkeys to string together random words to make jokes.
I have a feeling, based on how that's done, that they're all going to get together for like the Avengers of Comedy. Will be a comedy series with multiple different joke types.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So ridiculous, it just might work. But yeah, that's my news. Legend of Zelda live action is still a go.
I can't remember the actor's name, but if it's Amazon, just because I know he's working on Amazon original shows, this may be a weird choice, but the one that played Hellboy.
The guy with the cork thingies in his head?
Yeah, the one who played Hellboy.
Ron Perlman?
I don't know who the fuck that is. He was not Wolverine with corks in his head.
Yeah, but like I said, him, Rick, as Ganon or Ganondorf, whichever one they go with. What do you reckon? I reckon he has a voice. That would be intimidating.
Yeah.
We definitely know he looks good in red.
There you go. All right, so Mole, your first news?
Next Level Games has a long and promising history with Nintendo, having worked on a wide range of titles including Super Mario Strikers, Punch-Out and Luigi's Mansion 2. However, not all of these projects pitched by this developer have seen the light of day. As revealed today, Unseen64 has posted an updated video explaining what happened to the proposed Mario video game title the company was working on. Originally entitled Mario Volleyball, it would morph into a hybrid of volleyball and wrestling, showcasing surprisingly violent attack moves, which see characters stomping on one another from great heights. The game was eventually given the name Super Mario Spikers and was pitched for a Wii release. Next Level Game got as far as to even render various animations, mocking up potential stage ideas which included a wrestling arena, but the title was never given green light by Nintendo Japan. According to new information unearthed by Unseen64, a prototype of the title actually exists, and it was the content of this demo which apparently resulted in the plug being pulled. The Japanese felt that the level of violence on display was way too extreme, and apparently had issues with the idea of attacking prone opponents. It was viewed as dishonorable to do so in the context of sports title. Yeah, and there's a video up of it on YouTube for people to check out.
That's cool.
It's dishonorable, but I'm pretty sure they made Super Punch-Out like Nintendo did. You know, a boxing game where there's a guy that hits you with a stick and a dude that kicks you. But no, that's okay. Sure, whatever. Fine. You're right, Japan. You're right.
Punch-Out was a boxing game? I thought it was a dodge simulator.
I thought it was a game where I make delicious recipes on hot days.
And I'm just kidding with that.
I like recognition simulator.
Yeah, it was. I love Punch-Out, but yeah, Yeah, it's not boxing. That's what makes it fun, to be fair, though.
Yep. It's arcadey boxing. It's the burnout of the anyway. All right, so my first bit of news. Arc System Works acquired the IP rights to the defunct Technos Japan Corporation, and those rights included Double Dragon, River City Ransom, Dodgeball, and other similar games like that. So now you know why there was no Battletoads and Double Dragon on the Rare Replay.
I wanted that on there, damn it. But they do have Viva Pinata.
They do. There's both of them on there.
They do. I'm buying. Is it wrong? I'm buying that just for those two and all the. There's a load of other games I want to play, but Viva Pinata.
I'm buying it because I want the Battletoads arcade game. That hasn't been ever released on home consoles, and I couldn't. I haven't looked recently, but I remember years ago I couldn't even find an emulator of it or ROM, whatever. That game was cool. I played that like a couple times in the arcade.
I will say, if you could find an emulator of ROM, and it has been released on a home console. Because if you remember the console, the Ouya, which was totally the console killer. Until you casuals ruined it by saying, boo, it doesn't have enough power. No, that console was horrible. You don't launch a console by advertising free the games with Mario on there when you're not Nintendo, because, yeah, that's just saying, hey, come steal shit.
Pretty much. All right, so Pew, your second bit of news?
My second bit of news. I was hoping you didn't have this one because you mentioned Steam, but I think it's a different one. Popular Steam game. What's it called? That new Dino thing. Ark Survive Evolved.
Like our Jurassic World?
No, it's called Ark Survival Evolved. The Dino game. Basically, they're trying a new way to get their system, running really smoothly. So they're trying the old Google approach. Pretty much, here's $100, and if you find a bug in our game, you get $100, and yeah. So go play the game right now. If you have it on early access, you get $100 if you find a glitch. The glitch has to be either game breaking or not some kind of cheaty solo hack.
Oh, if only they'd done that when I bought the shitty PS1 title of A Bug's Life. I couldn't stop finding bugs in that.
Ha! But yeah, totally. Go check that out.
That could be a double pun because that game was extremely horrible and glitchy.
It was horrible.
So, but yeah, I hated that game.
It's similar to Chrome when they ordered $50,000 internet browser.
Whoa. Are you way too far from your laptop?
I don't think so.
Because you were doing that thing when it gets out of range.
How about now?
Now you sound fine.
Okay. Yeah, it's like when Chrome did that thing where you get $50,000 if you find a way to break the browser.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, totally.
Easy, install it.
Ah!
I hate Chrome. Did you see that recent news with Chrome where they were installing something automatically into Google Chrome's browsers that allows Google to hear and listen to everything you say even when you're not in a Hangout? As long as your microphone's plugged in. Because fuck it, fuck privacy.
It's Google.
Is it called Google Connect?
I don't know. It's called Google something. But it is worth noting, unlike Connect, this can't be turned off.
Stacy's living.
No,
in
you
the
have
past.
to Shit. You have to uninstall it. She's living in a fictional universe where that happened.
Her and Marcus Shadow.
Yeah.
I'm just joking, the whole Connect thing. Isn't that's what people still think, even though they don't think that didn't actually happen. People still think it is.
Yep. Well, if it's turned on, it does listen. And
Yeah.
which means if your console's on, like you're installing something, never say the phrase Xbox with Connect on. I have learned that.
So I can't say Xbox. I need some tips for Xbox. What do you think about my Xbox? I can't have a
No.
conversation about my Xbox to my Xbox or look up things on
No.
the Xbox with the Xbox.
No, I mean, yeah, you can obviously look up stuff to do with the Xbox on there, duh. What I mean is, like, if you're having a normal conversation with someone, like I was talking to, like, my brother and stuff, about the Xbox while I was installing one of my games, and I mentioned to him something about, yeah, and it's kind of cool, and you can turn off, you can get the Xbox to turn off the same way you can with the PS4 and stuff. And a few times when I said stuff, it kept coming up with, "Are you sure you want to turn off your Xbox?" I'm like, "No, stop this!" And I ended up turning off Connect. I'm like, that's kind of my own fault because it is designed to pick up Xbox then a command, but
Yeah.
I'm not blaming that. But it's just really funny to have a conversation about Xbox
Did you
with someone.
scratch yourself and it also came up? Do you want to turn off the console?
It came up you were doing a gesture and something like, "Did you want to turn off the console?" And I scratched my nutsack. But that's weird. That was weird and only happened once.
Okay.
The best part about the voice commands are when you're like, because if you're playing like online, it thinks you're voice chatting, so like you'll hear that through. So sometimes if you're playing, you'll hear Xbox turn off, yes, and then when they're gonna rage quit, you'll like hear them screaming at the Xbox to turn off, and then yes. It's like, wow.
It'd be more funny if someone. That'd be so funny if you're playing with the Kinect on, and the sound's coming through your TV. If it picked that up, Xbox off. It just turned off everyone on one team's entire fucking Xboxes. Everyone'd be like, "What the fuck?" But
That'd be amazing.
Yep. But back to Rick.
All right, Molly, your second bit of news.
My second bit of news is to do with something announced at E3, and that was World of Final Fantasy. What? They announced a few more details, and here they are. Called the Nose system, or roughly translates to Pile system. It's Nose in Japan, but it's roughly Pile system.
Either way, two noses?
Yes. Because it's the cute piggyback system, and that's piggy, Pew, not picky.
Piggy, like oink oink?
Yeah, like all those pigmen. Or I suppose Piggy had the mechanics seen in the trailer. A virtual role in this game's plays a vital role in this game's combat. The system allows up to 3 players to pile on top of each other during combat to become a single, stronger unit. By piling up, the characters share their HP and MP and are considered a single unit, thus making them a lot more difficult to defeat. Director Hiroki Chiba explained in an interview with Weekly Famitsu, not only I need to pronounce stuff better, but not only that, but the usable commands, attack strength and defense strength, depends on the combination of the characters piled up. The twin protagonists of the game will be able to switch from normal size to chibi mode in the game, depending on their size. If they're smaller, that means that basically characters can pile on top of them, or they can jump on larger monsters they've captured or befriended. Or if they're larger, they can have like little tiny monsters pile on top of them, which is cool.
Oh,
and of course,
like Puddle.
Yeah, while merging to form a stronger unit, Devastator style sounds appealing. Chiba did note that there are advantages to remaining separate. While fighting separately without piling, you have up to 6 characters at your disposal, allowing for more actions, he explained. Piling up and separating in combat will be possible, which adds a tactical element to the combat of this game. Enemies will utilize the Nose system as well, making them more difficult to defeat. But Chiba revealed that it will be possible to break apart piled units as well by the use of specific abilities. Obviously, enemies will be able to break a player's pile as well. The game will also feature 2 types of summons. The first is called Mega Mirage Summon, monsters in the world of Fina. Fantasy are called Mirages. Oh, sorry, in the world of Final Fantasy they're called Mirages, which is similar to the summons from Final Fantasy. Is that X or 10? I can't tell. But
10.
a powerful monster.
X is 10.
It's also Cross in Japan, so it could be Final Fantasy Cross, but
Good.
where a powerful monster is summoned to fight in your steed. The second type of summon is the Savior Summon, where you will be able to call on characters from various other Final Fantasy games to aid you in battle. And that was all the little tidbits and news I had from the world of Final Fantasy. Coming out 2016 on PS4 and PlayStation Vita.
So they can do a run-in, basically?
Pretty much, yeah.
Nice.
Like, you could have, like, oh my god, I'm being beat up. Wait, where is it? Doom, Army of Sephiroths, do a Nexus-style beatdown. No. I don't think it'll work quite that well. But, yeah, you can get them to do run-ins, and you can summon them, and jump on top of each other, pile up totem poles and stuff. I'm like, that sounds really fun and tactical. I don't know why, it just looked fun and it sounds fun. More than that
Sounds
later.
like the
they totally
superhero
copied that.
thing. Like, what is it? That superhero... Wonderful 100. It sounds like that, except with Final Fantasy.
It's probably decent, though.
I'm
So
gonna say
not
it's
like
not
Wonderful
like
101.
I'm gonna say it's not like Wonderful 101, because Wonderful 101 was hundreds together, sort of like Pikmin style, and you used them as weapons and stuff. This is more like 3 on top of each other. Suddenly makes you like a new character. It does seem different, but it does seem really cool.
It's more like Megazording with Power Rangers, like only 6 of them or whatever.
Yeah, why not?
They totally ripped that off of the new Legend of Zelda game. Ugh. Someone was totally announced like an hour before.
Was it?
I'm kidding. They obviously wouldn't have. Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah,
but I'm kidding that they ripped it off because they. I don't think they like rushed to design that stuff.
Yeah, I figured he was kidding because A, that, and B, this was announced before. Because this happened on this PlayStation conference when they announced this game, and the Nintendo one was the next day. Nintendo's playing catch up to Final Fantasy.
It's true.
But yeah, back to Rick for his bit of news.
All right, my bit of news. Apparently, the Diablo 3 patch 2.3.0 is going to be on the public test realm soon, and has some new stuff. And mentioned before, I was wondering what they were going to do with the Nephilim rifts, and they have a little picture that looks pretty cool. But some of the new features here, they have a new zone, the ruins of Shesharon, or I don't know, Sescheron. They'll probably say it some weird way. And a new area to explore, which is kind of cool. Has quote, strange new enemies and perilous environmental hazards. But yeah, it's apparently tied to the lore of the barbarians, according to the patch notes. And I'll get to that because that's the coolest part. They have crafting system updates. Season journey, something with the seasons. Don't care about that. New difficulty levels, Torment 7 through 10. Of course, some new legendary and set items. And anything they change is obviously not retroactive, so go and get it again, because yay. A couple other balance adjustments, but the adventure mode updates, they took out the realm of trials, so now you get act-specific crafting mats, which I think help you make the rift stuff. I don't know. They have a nice little thing where it's like, select your rift type, and there's Nephilim and Greater, and then it looks like you pick the level of the Greater Rift, which is awesome if you can just do it, because that would save a lot of time. But then the other really awesome thing they're adding is Kanai's Cube, which apparently pays homage to an item from Diablo 2, which is called the Herodric Cube. And it sounds like, as far as I can tell from what I read in Kotaku and the patch notes, it will allow you to basically transmute a legendary item into, like, basically it destroys it, but you can equip its passive ability. So if it has one of those things where it's like, oh, increases fire damage by 12%, you can like take that and put it on your person, and it doesn't take your slot. So obviously the best use of it is the amazing Ring of Royal Grandeur, so you don't have to equip it anymore. You can just have that effect where you use one less piece for set pieces. So I'm like, that sounds really awesome. I very much look forward to that coming out.
Why was it when you said that?
Mm-hmm.
The thing in my head was, yes, I can finally take the smelly pants as a passive.
You could. You could. The higher level version of that's not bad because it poisons enemies, still makes you stinky. But there's some cool stuff that I would totally be willing to, unfortunately kill for the passive, like the one that allows me multiple hydras, or allows 2 hydras.
The ones that summon treasure goblins.
Yeah, you could just equip that so you wouldn't have to have the ring on. The good or the bad version of that one, whichever you want.
How do you equip just the passive? Like, what is it attached to that makes it actually work?
You.
I don't know. I assume it's a new slot or a new thing.
It attaches to you under your passive.
Supposedly, though, it doesn't actually take your passive slots on your character, so I imagine they either add one or you can have one at a time. I'm not sure where yet. I do want to know, though, because that's awesome. Even if I had to give up a passive, I could probably do that. Ring of Royal Grandeur is amazing. But being able to equip another set piece would mean I could have another, effect in there versus just that. So I think that's pretty cool.
It
Sounds pretty sweet.
And I'm curious to try adventure mode in the update with that season journey and stuff like that they're doing.
Yeah. Well, now maybe they'll have because they already had seasons. They didn't seem to do much with them, so now it seems like they're actually trying to flesh them out and make them, so they have an effect or people know about them. The only reason I know is I was looking up stuff and, like on Legendaries, and it was like, oh, this item's the Season 2 item, and I'm like, what? What? Like, I had no idea, so it's kind of neat.
Nice. Is that actually... I can't believe I'm going to ask this. Is that actually a season of adventure mode? With that, or is that the season? Because I believe Season 2 was meant to be 2.0 upwards when they did all the new patches.
No idea.
You know what this game needs though? If it's getting new seasons, it needs a new season pass fucking Evolve, where it's got a second one. Because people love the DLC as so much of the first, and how much there was that second season pass, bitch.
I know.
I'm kidding with that, but that was horrible.
Yes. Not entirely unexpected, but still horrible, yes. Alright, so on to the catch-up section. And first with up to 2 games that you've played this week, let's go with Pew.
Alright, so the main one that I've been playing is Elder Scrolls Online. That's fun. I love crafting on there. It's my favoriteest thing. Every time I get a new thing, I just destroy it so I can pretty much recreate it with its ability or whatever. So
I still love the dungeons.
I love the dungeons too, but now I can create almost all this armor that I can never have a critical hit, so I like that. That's pretty cool. Or stuff that ridiculously boosts my magic, so I'll probably die before I use all my magic. So that's also awesome. And I also went to this new area or whatever. I think it's beyond my level, but I'm just still going over there to check out stuff and acquire materials and stuff. Because I can get different, instead of maple, I have oak and shields and where did I have maple? I don't know, some other shields or whatever, and a bunch of other crafting materials that I can use. But all level people are way higher than me, so I'm probably not supposed to be there, but I'm still there anyway. But it's just fun getting all the cool loot.
Yeah. Have you done the dungeon yet, Rick?
No. What counts as a dungeon? Something special, or just go into a place?
Actually, technically, you just go into them, but there's from level 10 onwards, there's certain areas, and they're called dungeon. Then something you just walk in there with a group. They are ridiculously brutal.
I'm not level 10, so no.
Ah, yeah, they are ridiculously brutal, Rick. Like I mentioned in our review, because I really like that. Like when you went to play the first time, you went to play like Alerts, let's say on DCUO, and some other MMOs with the first ones. They're really easy. They're not too hard. They're just like that. This one, you're against a boss, and at one point there's really tall grass, and he summons tiny little crab monsters that go through the grass where you can't see them. And we kept getting wiped out a lot because it was like some of the bosses were just summoning waves and waves of like endless enemies.
And that was a positive?
Yeah, it makes it more fun and challenging. I like that.
Well, the fact that one wasn't even like the main boss, we just skipped it and did the main boss, and we still beat the dungeon anyway.
Yeah, we ended up skipping that one in the end when we could and stuff, and you get a shit ton of XP and stuff. It's like, and when you found, like when we beat the first dungeon, unlike the DCUO ones and the easy ones where it's like, oh, okay, I've done that now. This one, it's like, yes, we actually fucking did it, and we're celebrating it. It's like, yes. And then we see there's a lot more to come. Like, oh, yay! Like we keep going to play Destiny then. I could do, but I like them. It's like when I played World of Warcraft, I loved like the high-end raids a lot more than I ever enjoyed like the low-end stuff. If that makes sense.
Gotcha.
It was just craziness.
It was. And we were the Monster Squad.
Yeah.
As I named ourselves.
He was the Crispy was the skeleton, and what were you? You were like
I was a zombie. Yeah, I was like an undead zombie with my costume. Pew became a goblin. Crispy drank something and suddenly put all his flesh and organs into his inventory and became a skeleton. Because I said to you, that's the only way of explaining it. You just packed all your flesh inventory and like organs and stuff into your fucking inventory. Like, yeah, done. Because when you make a character for the first time, I think you get 500 crown points, Rick. I don't know if you've used the Crown Store yet, but there's some really cheap stuff on there. Like Pew got a cat. I think I got a costume that let me transform into a zombie and stuff.
Yeah, I saw there was 500 crowns, but that didn't seem like there was enough to buy anything I wanted. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I will say that's something I like about this Crown Store. All the stuff in there is mainly cosmetic. You know what I mean? So it's like, well, you can spend money and get that stuff, but you don't feel like you have to, if that makes sense. So it's not like pay to win, or as people like to throw out at times when it doesn't mean that.
Another thing you can get on the store is crafting styles. Like, I tried earlier to get the Khajiit style, but it totally like froze my game and froze the store. But like it only costs 500, so if you haven't spent it, you can totally get like probably 3 or like between 3 and 5 different styles or whatever.
I have to ask, was that because of the game, or was that because of the PSN store? Because speaking to James last night, he couldn't redeem any of his Batman DLC because the PlayStation Store in the US wasn't up, and loads of people were reporting like the PSN store itself was down, and some parts of PSN in US wasn't coming up, and you know what I mean. So which means if the store's not there, you can't access it, if that makes sense. So you kind of
but like then I couldn't go back to I couldn't press like the home button and click resume game and resume my game or whatever.
I know, I'm saying that might have
caused the
crash.
whole thing.
Yeah, that's what I mean, but I wasn't sure. It's just a guesstimate.
But yeah, so that's what happened there. But yeah, you could totally use your 500 points that you already have to get like all the styles you need in the first place without having to spend any real money.
Gotcha.
Like if you don't want like a pet or anything. Because I just want my human person to have a Khajiit helmet, so I still have like ears and stuff. This is so freaking.
I want to buy Richter's character as a pet.
Oh, also, so what other game did I play? Oh yeah, I played Fallout Shelter for the iOS phone, whatever.
The iOS phone, whatever.
whatever, like the shit that goes on in phones, like phone games.
iOS means you bought it on your Apple phone. If not, you bought it Android version.
Whatever, I bought it on the fucking phone, and it can be like any phone that does smartphone things. I don't fucking know. Okay, I never play any iPhone games. This is like my second iPhone game.
It pains me. It physically pains me.
I don't know about this shit. Okay. So whatever. This Fallout shelter, it's actually really cool, and it's crazy detailed. Because basically the whole thing you want people to keep repopulating and making your shelter bigger, because that's how you unlock new rooms. So basically the easiest way to do that is force people in the barracks, and then they'll do it. But the thing is, like, what I learned is I had one guy, whoever the highest charisma is, the faster they're going to do it. So, like, you can't make people, like, do their cousins or, like, even uncles or, like, second cousins. And they all have different last names, so I'm not fucking going to remember who's the cousin and anything. It doesn't tell me that, but you can't do it. Because, like, everybody in the high charisma family, and that's what I call them, because they're pretty much all related because I couldn't make them do each other. And because it'll just have a text box that says, "Oh, it's nice to be with family." But sometimes when you like do it, I feel really, really bad because I'll make all the women in my entire vault pregnant. And not only that, but like sometimes, like usually when they do it, their happiness increases. So like when they go back to their job, they do it even better. But sometimes it doesn't increase. Like this one was at like 10%, and she's like, "Oh, she's super miserable. I bet she could use a good time." So I put her in this room with the dude with the highest charisma, because he should be like the best, dude about fucking, because he's like the highest charisma. She did not like it, and then she came out pregnant. So did I just send her to get raped? Like, is that what just happened? Because that's how I felt.
Well, just because she didn't enjoy it didn't mean it was rape.
I mean, like, but she came out, like, and every time the women come out, they come out so sluggish and miserable. And she, like, it didn't increase 1%. If anything, as soon as she left that room, it went down even further. So,
yeah,
like,
the guy might have just been terrible in bed. That doesn't mean he's a rapist.
But he has the highest charisma, and everybody else, he increases everyone's happiness to 100%.
But charisma is not a sex stat. It just means people like you. So she probably liked him. It doesn't mean he's good in bed.
I know, but everybody likes him and has babies. But she did not like him, but she still had his baby.
You can like him, and you can have a 3-inch penis. It's not
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, apparently, like, all the other women like his junk. This one woman just not like him, and it was really weird. Because everybody else likes him. Anyway, another thing you can do is...
Rick, that may be one of the few times on this show when anyone's ever...
Anyone what?
I said that may have been the first time now when I said, yeah, just because, like you said, just because the charisma means someone likes them, it doesn't mean they're great in bed. Richter is the exception, not the rule. This is the first time ever on the Xpound West everyone said everyone likes Richter and he's great in bed. Boom.
Okay.
I complimented him. He's not used to it.
Another thing is, when you do your
I'm not used to
objectives,
people saying I have high charisma.
You get lunch boxes, and you can have special characters. Like, I got Jericho. But the thing is, when you get special characters, I just send them out to the freaking place to scavenge for cool shit, and they never actually get to live in the vault. So I kind of feel bad for that, because as soon as they get back... But they're happy. Apparently, they're, like, 100% happiness, and they're okay with it. But I just feel like I'm using them, like, horribly.
Yeah, I was going to say, to be fair, Rick, when it comes to the charisma thing... The group contains James, Pew, and Marcus. I mark on a grade. Oh, a curve. I mark on a curve.
Fair enough.
Another cool thing about like the detailedness of the characters you get. Sometimes the thing that the person might be good at is not the thing they want to do. Because, like, there was this woman who had super high charisma, but all she ever wanted to do was become a scientist, but she had really low intelligence. Because I put her everywhere else, and her happiness kept going down. But I put her in the science lab, and she did horrible things and made, like, all this stuff and was fucking up with my other scientist. But her happiness was increasing, even though she was doing terrible. So what I did was I put her in the classroom to increase her, like, science levels so that she could actually do good science and stop fucking shit up and also be happy. So it's really interesting.
Basically, you made Disney princesses. Of like, I'm really good at swimming, I want to walk on land.
Well, see, the thing was, I gave her a proper education so she could be good at it. So I made her science levels go up, and she had the proper training in order to do that. But it's interesting that they would make their characters that three-dimensional, that even though they have a high-level skill, that may not be what they actually want to do. Which is very interesting and detailed. Makes them more like, people.
See, I was
Which I thought was really
impressed by
cool.
that. I was impressed by that game. It sounded really realistic until you mentioned a woman with an education.
Fuck off. And like, there's like random events and raider attacks and like all this other stuff. Sometimes rad roaches, and I make everybody have guns, because you never know if there's gonna be an attack or something, and it's really cool. You gotta have
Nice.
everybody defending. And it's funny, in my radio station where that's what you broadcast to attract other people to your vault. The thing that gives you the highest level of pajama is like lingerie. So there's only one guy in the radio station and like 8 girls, so he's just in pajamas, and all the other one are in like like really like tiny little like, I don't know what you want to call it, like nighties or something, with like they have this like band around their leg too, and like it's just funny how like all these people in like it's like a pajama party in like the radio station. That gives them the highest level charisma. It's like, what? Anyway,
Fair
it's
enough.
super fun. So that's the game that I played. Games.
Mhm.
All right. So, Mole, the games you played?
Fair enough. I really want to talk about Batman, but I'm reviewing that on Friday, so I'll let that go for this week. Both. Are you humping the microphone?
She's
Pew.
trying to make more microphones.
Pew. Seriously, Pew, what the fuck? She wasn't even responding, it was just, what the fuck was that?
Hello?
Hello?
Hey.
What the hell was that? We just keyed up to keep scratching the mic.
Oh, I was trying to put my headset in to plug it in, but it wouldn't go in because it was dying.
Fair enough. And I was going to say, yeah, like I said, I wanted to talk about Batman, but reviewing that on Friday. The 2 games I did play, ironically, both of you two have had some sort of experience with them in a certain way, and I think Rick's experienced both. But first up, Titanfall on my Xbox One, because I got an Xbox One last week. Woo!
Yay!
And
Yay.
Titanfall, which I mainly played with Crispy, but I also played a lot with Richter too. That game is fun as fuck. I like Titanfall.
Cool.
I think it's online only, but it's really fun. The DLC is free, and I bought that game, and it was really fun. Just like getting in mech suits and some of the over the top stuff you can do. Like I showed Richter a strategy I've got of I now have made kamikaze mech suits that exist for the sole purpose of running towards other mech suits, ejecting and doing nuclear blasts. They literally exist for you to run forward and go, Allah, boom. But yeah, and you get stuff like on the I can't remember what the hell that mode's called. The one we normally played was you're against computer-controlled people, and sometimes they'll send like 20 Titans after 4 people. Which means, and some of these are nuke Titans too, which means they do massive damage. So you'll want to nuke them before they can nuke you and everything around you. There's campaigns, which are really fun. There's Marked for Dead, which is fun as hell. There's even a mode, which I don't know if Richter's played this mode, but there was a mode me and Crispy played where you can't touch the floor.
The floor is
Floor is
lava, the
lava?
actual game? I thought that was
Pretty
only for
much.
poor kids like me.
No, like I said, pretty much, because the main floor of the maps, it's a poisonous electric smoke cloud.
Nice.
So you can only play by jumping across the rooftops. Now, mech suits can walk through it, but you have to jump along the rooftops and stuff, and it becomes really fun, and I don't know why.
I have not played that.
Yeah, I like that mode. And like I said, the PvP is fun, the PvE is really fun. I wish they had more PvE. I don't know what you'd call it, but variety.
Mm-hmm.
Because after only doing the same things, there were 20 nuke titans, I got kind of bored of that and kind of doing PvP for a while.
Yeah.
But I kept going back to it because it was still fun. It's just I wanted more variety. But like I said, pretty fun game. I like Titanfall. And what did you like about that this week, Rick? Because I believe it was this week I played you with it.
Yeah, we did play a little bit. I don't know. It's just pretty fun. Got some more challenges for the gun because there was some to kill like specters and stuff, and I don't know. we did PvE, which is pretty fun. It could be better, the PvE. It is fun, but I think I wish it was like more waves, because it feels like it escalates way too quickly, and only like 2 respawn or 2 like tryovers is really weird. Like, I don't know why they would care. Like if you just keep trying it just seems odd.
I could see that as well. Yeah, it does, because most of them have like 10 waves. This is like 4 or 5, which means wave 1, a few standard troopers on the floor. 2 waves later, giant 22 nuke titans, mortar titans. It's like, what the fuck? Like 2 waves, like you said, 2 waves ago, we were just against regular dudes. What the hell?
Yeah, like the first one's all dudes. Sometimes you get like 1 titan, and then quickly it'll be like 20 nuke titans, and you're like, what? And like I don't know, like the mortar titans, they're amazing because they can shoot from wherever. Like it's weird because you have to like, there's only 4 of you, and it seems like it's really hard to stay there and defend the whatever that thing, the harvester, but then also chase down the mortar titans.
I could see that. Yeah, which, like I said, that's why I came up with that strategy of run forward and press eject, so you could take out multiple at once. It's even better if they're crowded in like an alley. Because to quote the movie 300, and their numbers mean nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the other game I played this week was Project Spark, which I streamed that. That's why I know Pew's seen that one, because she's seen a lot of different stuff with that, and I know you've played that. That game is fun as hell, and the amount of stuff you can do in it is just mind-blowing. Like, it's a game where I've gone into like Community Vault, and I played a game where people made it so you can morph and turn into various Power Rangers and stuff, which is on my last stream. Which I was like, what? And you can fight and stuff, and it's all like behind the camera views you're fighting. Then you can also go boom 2D mode, like, and go like 2D side scroller or top down Diablo game or first person shooter, and it's like, what? That's crazy. And it's like they finally gave me something on one of the DLC packs I bought ironically today, which I'm really looking forward to using in a game mode in the future. Dungeon Spawner. I'm not sure if you've seen that DLC pack, Rick.
I have not, no.
It's the latest one, Dungeon Spawner. When you buy it, when you go to create a game, if you do, I can't remember what it was. I think if you go to dungeon mode or something, it can randomly generate a dungeon for you and lay out various rooms and locations and just join them together. All you have to do is decorate and place stuff.
Nice.
And boom, you got a dungeon. And I'm like, that's fun. I like that. Right now, I'm currently working on... Well, not right now, but this weekend I've been heavily working on a game I've been making on there of a 2D side-scrolling beat-em-up / platformer called Zombro. That will be coming out in the future, where you play as a zombie who has a giant bone as a weapon against like knights, and you have to collect coins and jump over pits, it's Mario style and stuff. And I'm like,
I thought
really
like
fun.
Zombro meant we could be bros, and like I could like fight some dude with like a hat that's turned backwards or something.
It's called Zombro because that'll be what his name is. He is Zombro. Because I was like, Zombro? And then the style of game it is with the big bone, it just screams old games like Chuck Rock and stuff like that. I don't know if you'd agree with Rick, but I used to love all the old side-scrolling games like Chuck Rock and stuff like that. Like, I loved Mario and stuff, but they're like you know what I mean? They're like the classics that everyone's like used to. I liked stuff like Chuck Rock, where you had like a big club and it was clubbing shit for no reason. And I'm like, oh my god, now you're a zombie with a fucking giant bone, so like medieval and stuff. And I'm like, that's awesome. And I've been working on that. I've also downloaded all the Conker's DLC building stuff. I'm shocked you have to buy a story separately. One thing that annoyed me with DLC-wise on this is one pack. I had to buy a pack, which sounds stupid, but I had to buy a pack to let me change the shape of my brush. What the hell? That seems like basic functionality there. I don't mean that in a bad way. I really do love that game, but that one seemed like basic functionality. I'm like, really? I have to pay for that? I can understand I have to pay to play as Conker or to do or to lay out stuff in various packs. Cool. Basic functionality, and I'm like, ugh. I still end up doing it. So far, I've dropped about 40-50 quid on this game alone, and I still haven't got all the DLCs, and I'm still dropping it. Yeah. I want my game to be perfect. And as I'm building it, I'm like, I need that from this pack. Okay, buying the pack. I need this from this pack. Buying the pack.
Okay. Well, yeah. The story and the parts separately, I definitely agree. It's annoying, but I mean, it's been like that. Like, I don't know if since the beginning, but that like Void Storm or whatever, the starter pack comes with it, where you can play the story mode, but you don't get any of the pieces for it, and it's like, oh, you got to get that separately. And I would really recommend. While you have the double experience and the double money gain, keep doing the daily challenges and any weekly challenges you can do to get the free money, and I would buy any packs you can with the in-game silver currency first.
I could see that. I've been trying to do that, but then I ran out of currency for that too, because I've been using in-game currency, and I've got loads. It's ridiculous.
It requires patience, so... Because I think in the first, because I played it a lot with that month I had the premium or whatever it was called. I'm trying to remember what I got overall, but I got some, I bought some of the expensive stuff because it was like really cool.
Will we be able to do something we've never done before on XGR in the future?
Mm-hmm.
When Zombro is complete, will Richter play it, and that'll be the game he's played this week? Because that'd be weird.
Sure.
I can hear him say, well, I think the developer was stupid, or the creator was stupid, which I'll be like, fuck you, I'm in the conversation. He'd be like, shh, you don't hear Capcom speaking up when we bitch about Resident Evil going shooter mode.
At the very least, I would definitely do stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm contractually obligated to do that because it'd be fun.
It would. I got really annoyed that I couldn't teleport, because I was trying to make it Castlevania Metroid-ish style, because I wanted to, go up to different areas to get weapons. I still haven't figured out how to do that properly yet.
Oh, okay.
And I tried to use the teleporter, and when I teleported, it went, and just took me where I was, because I put the teleport on a different layer, and I wasn't allowed on that layer. I'm like, but it's 2D. If I teleport over there, I should just be 2D over there, because I got a massive world. But doing it 2D, I only have like one stripe of this world. What's the point of the rest of the world? Besides decorations in the back, which I'll totally be doing afterwards to decorating and set up my ambience.
So when you say different areas, you mean like you want several maps that are linked together? Like you can go in a door and it goes somewhere else?
Sort of, yeah.
Okay.
Or you need you have to travel back, like go up there, get the key for this door over here and stuff, which I know you can do it because someone did the Batman game. It's on my favourite list that way. Okay. I don't know how. Which I believe you were explaining.
Well, no, I wasn't sure if you meant like it was on the same map or if it was like a different map. Because you need I think you have it. It came with the starter pack, but I think it's the world or like big world pack or something is what allows you to link maps. But nice. if it works on the Batman one, edit their game and you can try and figure out where it is, and you should be able to.
I think it was locked.
Oh, you should. Oh, because they had some DLC that you don't have, or they just locked it.
I think they may have locked it. Like I know I'd be locking mine just because. When I searched on there the other day for, like, what was it? It was something like Star Wars or something, and I saw lightsabers. There was like 10 at the same fucking map and level and everything where people just took someone else's and uploaded it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I always hate that and stuff like that because I don't want to be a dick and lock it because I'd like people to see what the hell you did and all that. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't want other people uploading my game, so and taking it, and you know what I mean. And then it's like, oh, they uploaded all my game. Fuck you. I want the feedback from my game, not you.
Then go on their message board because it's like actually super helpful. At least it was a couple months ago. So if you like describe it, there's probably someone that could at least they probably wouldn't tell you exactly what to do, but you know they could tell you what function you needed and you know like a rough outline because you know like I mean exactly what to do because you know they wouldn't be like well if you put the block you know like they would tell you like what functions you need so you would understand it, not like you know we'll put the cursor here. They wouldn't do like that, but they should be able to at least tell you how it works and what functions so you could then do it.
Yeah, I could see that because I know the community, at least to me, seems like a really great community. Mm-hmm. The game may seem like a money pit, but the community seems really great. Yeah. Because like the second I messaged, I hadn't even started of creating yet because for me, with all the stuff you could do, like the brains and all that, it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I need to learn this shit. and like, straight away, without hesitating, someone who I believe was one of the developers instantly says, well, if you want any help with this, just let me know. And if I've got anything to, if there's anything I can teach you, or if there's any places I can link you to, I will do. Like, and then I asked him, like, how do you do cutscenes? And he told me, oh, that's a great question. I've heard that before. And he recommended go on YouTube and type in the cutscene stuff tutorial, and people have made a great tutorial taking you through that. I'm like, that is fucking amazing how they taught you that. You know what I mean? It just seems like a welcoming community, and I like that in games. I always think it's great if a community is great within games.
Yeah.
Community that cans.
Yep, but those were the two I played, so back to our lovely, glorious host. Praise unto him.
All right. First game I played this week, Steam had their big summer sale, so they had like a little...
Oh.
Huh?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I realised that I was just in my head. Speaking of host, Rick, are you on the edge of your seat? Are you ready to smile?
Yeah.
Marvel have made a statement.
Okay.
They've shown a picture of Eddie Brock Venom with the caption, "We're back."
Nice.
And apparently, thanks to this new Battleground stuff, Venom's back as Eddie Brock.
Yay.
Eddie Venom's back. I'm like, fuck yes! I'll admit a tear went down my cheek with that. It's like, I'll never forget where I was the day this was announced.
I was on the toilet and I was...
I was scratching my balls and Xbox remembered that. But no, I'm sorry, continue, Rick. I just thought you were happy with that.
That is awesome. But during their summer sale, the way to earn badges and stuff was some little like cow clicker bait game, you know. And so I played that for a bit. It was okay. My son kept wanting to play it, but basically, you get into a game up to 1,500 players, and you click on guys to do damage, and you can also buy an auto thing. But anyway, you click on them to do damage, and then when they die, you get money and use that to buy upgrades like more health and more damage and items and stuff you can use. And then the highest level you get to upgrades your like badge for it, and then when you start the next day, you get points depending on what level your badge was that you can buy power-ups to start with. It was okay. It took several days for it to work properly. Like it kept giving an error the first day for a long time. And there's like there were like no real tutorials on it. They're just like play the game, and you're like what? So it was like old school, just like they throw something at you and you have to figure it out. I mean, it's not that simple. It's not super hard, but at the same time, like there's nothing. And I imagine that some of the problems getting in were because there was a 1,500 player limit, and they never said that. It was just you're like, why can't I join this game? And so they had. Huh?
Oh, I was gonna say, is that the game I saw about where people were doing stuff like running scripts and stuff and giving advice on which browsers are the best and stuff because it was impossible to get the maximum amount of clicks because it was set too ridiculously high.
Yeah, and of course then they give a badge for that. I'm like, that's horseshit. Give a badge in a game you can only play for like 10 days, 3 of which it was near unplayable, and you have to cheat to do it. Like, yeah, that's stupid.
That's stupid.
Yeah, but it was like okay as like a diversion, and it ran in the background, so like you didn't even have to be sitting there clicking it. So I would usually buy health and the auto damage, but eventually people had it down to like some crazy science and were skipping levels and whatnot, and totally ate up bandwidth during those days because sometimes like my games were like lagging and stuff like that. Probably because of that, because I haven't encountered that problem in the last couple of days when I haven't had the game. But it was at least something different, it seemed with the the summer and the winter sale, they try to do new ways for you to earn cards. Like there was voting a couple times, and then I forgot what they did last time. But then this time they have like a little game.
If that game's bandwidth heavy or something, this seems like the dumbest time to do that game. Only because guess what everyone's streaming this week? All the E3 videos.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it was so much bandwidth heavy, but it's constantly using it because I think it was like doing cloud process. So I'm not, and also, what was I using? Oh, I was using Firefox, but yeah, apparently Chrome would like leak memory or something, so it's bad to do that because you'd have to.
I wasn't sure if it was like the WWE Network. For just $9.99, but the WWE Network, I know a load of people who every time, and we've had it before now, where if you use it for just as little as like 40 minutes or 50 minutes to watch one show, your internet goes slow as fuck straight after the network, and only the network. It's like, what the fuck? I can watch Netflix all fucking day, no issue. One episode of Total Divas, net can drop sometimes. Not all the time, but now and again. I'm like, why is this a bandwidth drain? What the hell have they done?
I do have that where the network a lot of times will stop responding, and then I have to like reset it or something.
Which I did find that funny that it has achievements on the Xbox One for stuff like I got Night Owl, and it told me on my list when I clicked on what the hell, it was something I clicked on the side after I looked to see what it was. On the side it said stuff you've almost earned, and straight away it said, and I was like, oh god, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna end up getting the achievement, Ladies' Night. It says because it's watch 10 episodes, it says a Total Divas, and it counts as me watching 6 because it crashed or froze 6 times during one episode, so it counted as 6 episodes. I'm like,
nice.
How is that a thing? That's not 6 episodes.
There's one that's like watch a pay-per-view live, and I got it. Which one did I get it with? Not the latest one, but like the one before it. Even though I've watched since November or whenever I got it, because it kept messing up. I don't know for whatever reason, but like finally, like I wasn't like trying to go for it or anything.
Yeah,
but
you just
like
have to watch it on that.
Yeah, but I saw that was one, and I'm like, how did I, like, because I got one of the achievements I got like after watching it a couple times. I was like, oh right, this has achievements, damn it. And then I look and I was like, wait, there's one for watching a pay-per-view, but I watched Fastlane or whatever, like one of those, and I was like, what? And then eventually it did it, and I was like, oh yeah, that one. Like, I don't know why it took so long.
Which were you annoyed with more, Rick? The fact they have achievements, or the fact when you click on the achievements after you've got on there, it's a picture of John Cena behind the thing. Fair enough, so it knows what the network features. Cool. Picture of generic owl. I'm like, what? Why couldn't you have given me a WWE picture then? Since these are useless anyway, at least let me click it, set as background, boom, I have a WWE wallpaper.
That would have been nice.
It's like, why? Why are they completely unrelated to wrestling?
I don't know. Well, the ability to set them as a background was one of the more recent patches. Yeah, it's cool. But it was one of the more recent patches. But yeah, it's still like, you bothered to put achievements in it. At least, yeah, make it a decent picture. Yeah, they feel terribly generic, which could work for a game, but it just seems like there's like, what, 8 of them? Like, just put a picture.
Which I will admit, I did take the piss with that, like I showed Crispy. Because I had a big empty box of showcase your achievements here, and it just puts one there. I said to Crispy, well, achievements are useless anyway. I'm just going to point this out by showcasing one of the most useless fucking ones ever. Boom! Night Owl. And it's just a picture of a black owl. I'm like, there you go, done. It's a picture. It does it.
The one I have right now is all the from Saints Row 4, where like all the people in their super homey costumes, because that one looks
nice. I assume you've done it for the same reason, just so you didn't have that big blank spot on your profile, like boom, picture. Done.
Well, just I thought that picture looked cool.
That's what I meant. So that's what I meant as well, because it's a cool picture showcase. Like at first, I had the Titanfall doing the fist punch down to the ground, because awesome picture.
Yep.
What was the other game?
The other game was Lord of Magna for 3DS, and it's like this weird strategy RPG, but it's like in the battles, there's like a bowling mechanic almost. So like there are leader units that have a lot of HP, and then they summon like little grunts that have they die in one hit basically, and the whole thing is you're supposed to hit the little ones into other little ones, and they'll like dominoes, and they'll like fly back and like hit each other and kill each other, and it's a pretty decent game. It was pretty fun. The only part I really didn't like is the final boss. It was really stupid because you're going through the game fine, and then I get to like the final boss, and you have to fight the person or creature, whatever it is. I'm not gonna spoil it, but you have to fight him like 3 times. First time was fine, and then it's like it also reminded me of like Lord of the Rings, where it like had like a fake ending. So you like beat the final boss, and then it goes, and it's like the ending, and then oh look, no, Russo swerved. Now there's more fights, and then the second time you fight them, you can't use your main character and the girl you've chosen for the ending, which are probably 2 of your higher level characters. So then basically I had to do other maps to grind up like a replacement person because you can only take 4 in a battle at a time out of 8, and since you have to always take the main character, he's going to be one of your higher levels, and so that annoyed me that I had to then grind to do that. And the guy has like when it's between 50 and 25% HP, it does an attack that hits a cone that will pretty much do triple your health, so it'll just kill you. Like it's not instant death, but it does so much damage that you're not gonna survive it. And like the first time they did it, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe they just did that once, and then no, they did it again, and I was like, oh, you're just gonna spam that? Okay, that's cool. And then I thought maybe it was like as it's called, rage mechanic, where if it takes too long, the enemy does it. So I tried to fight again, and no, it's just when he's between, or she is between the HP, and I was like, oh, okay, that's stupid. Then did that fight, and then you fight the final boss, like this is my true form kind of nonsense. And it just has so much HP that it just takes forever to whittle down. It's like triple the highest you've encountered in the game. And it's not overly strong. I mean, it can kill you, it can do good damage, but it's just, that fight takes a long time. So basically, from the time I got to that first fight to when I beat it, counting the grinding and stuff, it was like 4 extra hours, which bothered me. And then it was a review game, so I was, like, oh, okay, I can do my review. And then I was playing through New Game Plus because it's got kind of a neat New Game Plus, and I ended up just beating it a second time. And I was like, oh man, I should like stop. So it was pretty fun. And this, of course, you can keep some of your levels the second time through. So then the final boss wasn't hard or anything, but it was just pretty fun. So.
You know what item I'd like in an RPG?
Mm-hmm.
A camcorder.
Oh.
It'd have to be like a secret item or something like that. And if you get this camcorder, you access montage mode, where if you activate it, you just get a cutscene of like your character like doing weights, boom, or it's done all your like grinding for you.
That would be amazing.
Tales of Vesperia pretty much has that. You just have to look up every now and then because it does auto fights.
Yeah, but I was talking about like an actual montage of like you running up the stairs like Rocky style, or through the streets doing weights, punching bags, and then
when I spent the whole afternoon just cleaning and vacuuming, and I gained like, I don't know, like 30 levels, and I hadn't paid attention to the game like at all. I'm like, what?
Yeah. It's a game that plays itself.
There's one on the original Xbox called Metal Dungeon. Like all the combat was auto. I think you could turn it off, but you couldn't defaultly set it to off.
See, that reminds me of. Do you remember the new Super Mario Brothers games? When they had that block that if you hit it would complete the levels for you. If you failed enough times, whenever that came up, it was like beep beep. Oh, it frustrated me enough, not enough to quit the game or anything like that. It frustrated me because I was like, I am not going to click you. No, I am better than letting you beat yourself.
Yeah, Mario Galaxy 2 had that. You'd get a bronze star. I did it on one level one of the times through the game because it was just that level was really bad.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay, I'll come back to this later. I knew I had to play it later, so it's not like it's like I know I'm gonna have to do this again at some point. I don't care. I just want to try the level beyond it now.
But yeah, that's like I was saying, that makes me laugh. You said I did it once, which means you're probably like me. If most of the time when it was going do and letting you do it, you were like, no, fuck you, I can do this.
Most levels I didn't die enough to do it, and I don't think they allowed you to on the like final level once you have all the green stars, and that thing's a piece of shit. I hate that level. I don't think it allowed you to do it on there because I would have done it because I hate that level a lot. That level's not fun, and like the normal version is do it with checkpoints, and then like I don't want to say green star version, but I don't remember. But like the final test, which you have every other star, is you have to do it with no checkpoints, and that is horrible.
See, the one I kept having to do that on was near like the final world, like when you've got all the hidden stars and stuff on the Wii one, and you now got Bowser's world, and now the screen is moving you, so you're forced to constantly keep moving, as it's bombarding you with flames. Chasing you with flames and shitloads of enemies. It's like, oh crap, and I will admit I did die a few times on that. I was like, no, and it kept coming up. I'm like, no, back off. I can do this.
It's like it's almost making fun of you. Like, no, you can't.
Yeah, like 3D Land kept coming up with the golden Tanuki.
They keep doing me that with because I was Luigi and I had the silver one. And it's like, no, fuck you, I can do this.
Yeah.
Like on the whole, I think that's actually a decent mechanic in games. I just wish you could like turn it off. Because there are a couple points in some games. It's pretty rare, but sometimes there's just like, this isn't fun. I just want to do what's beyond it.
Yeah, I could see that because, like I've mentioned in the past, and people have joked about this on other stuff before, but games are the only medium that don't let you see the end if you suck. Which, like people said, you can't be bad at watching a film. It's not like halfway through, like right before the end of Godfather, it suddenly pauses and you have a pop quiz about who the characters and themes are. So I'm like, well, to be fair, if a parent has spent $50 or $60 buying their kid a Mario game, I'm okay if that kid wants to complete and go all the way through. It's just, I know for me personally, as when I see it, I'm like, no, you're mocking me. I can do this. Stop it.
Well, also, one of my problems is sometimes games aren't the same the whole way through. So, like, let's say, like, Gears of War there's lots of games, but like, Gears of War, it's a third-person shooter. But occasionally, like, at one point they have like a shooter in a minecart one. There's one where there's like a vehicle level. Sometimes they throw in something that's not part of the genre it is because they're trying to diversify. Like, how many games have really shitty stealth sections thrown in there? And like, it's not that, like, you didn't buy the game for that. It's just there. You just roll your eyes because you're like, oh, gotta have the mandatory crappy stealth section. And like, sometimes those sections I just want to skip because it's not the game I want. It's not the game I paid for. It's not the game I'm playing. You tried to copy something else and throw it in there, and it's garbage. Like, I don't want to be punished because you guys put a piece of crap in your game.
Like I said, Pew had that in Dishonored. I will say, I could completely agree. That's why, like I said, it's the opposite for me with the Batman games. Of after the first one, I paid for the cool stealth game.
Yeah.
Then I don't want all the beat 'em up, and like the new one, which I'll get into on Friday, I don't want to play as the fucking tank all the time. No, fuck off with that tank.
You mentioned that. I'm like, how the fuck does he have a tank?
Like Arkham Asylum, like those challenge maps or whatever. The Predator ones are awesome. I love those. I hated the fighting ones. I'm like, this isn't what I want to do. Yeah, exactly like that. So it's like, I'm okay with that function in games because sometimes they throw in some half-baked piece of crap and you're like, I don't want to do this part of the game. This is dumb.
Yeah, and obviously it'd be the opposite. Like if I paid for a beat, like if I was playing for Double Dragon and halfway through I have to do stealth, I'd be like, the fuck are you doing here? Yeah. You have one job.
Exactly.
That's to amuse me with your death.
Like I think one of the few games that pulled off the crappy mandatory stealth section was like Saints Row 4. Because it wasn't that hard and they just made fun of it the whole time. And I was like, thank you.
I've said before now, which I don't know if you'd agree or not, Rick, the wrestling needs stealth. And I don't mean that as a full joke or anything either. What I mean is, like, let's say it's a Money in the Bank match or a triple threat ladder match where I get thrown to the outside. If I'm a heel, I should be able to crouch down or like on the other side of the ring where the camera isn't, and then when the other two are knocked down, quickly run in and take the ultimate opportunist. Because that'd be an awesome mechanic for heels to be able to do that. Just crouch down like on the side where you can't see him. So you're like, oh, is he injured? Is he dead? Is he even coming back? Both get knocked out. Boom, into the ring. They're like, fuck off. It'd be amazing.
That would be pretty cool.
But speaking of various genres of games, I believe that would take us to our topic.
Yep. So E3 wrap-up. Thoughts and whatnot. I don't know who's going to go first. I'm going to throw this out there just because I found it funny and I didn't get a chance to say it during the third-party one because it didn't really fit in wherever it was. But, or maybe, I don't think I mentioned it. Anyway, but that was like the Square Enix one, or Squeenix as I like to call them. Their press or whatever, their conference was hilarious because it felt so businesslike. It was like tiny and, like a lot of the applause was like muted, kind of polite applause, They weren't like cheering people like, yeah, like, like we have Fallout 4 and guys like, I love you, like there's none of that. It's just like, oh yes, there's a game, it just felt really subdued. It was weird. I was like, is this not the games are supposed to be fun and they're all like,
maybe,
we have this.
To your approval, you snap instead of clapping.
Pretty much, yeah. That one was just really odd.
I want to throw out something quickly. I was wrong in one of our previous statements.
Oh.
I misheard one of the videos. It wasn't that Battleborn does not come with 5 characters. It comes with 25 characters. I heard the 5 bit, but it comes with 25 characters from the get-go, and they also said that they've put in over 4 times the time that they did on each of the Borderland classes and characters with each one of these characters. They also announced there's a giant PvE mode, Rick.
Oh, okay.
Where like you can team up with 5 of your friends and just go through like a custom-ish campaign of just destroy shitloads of enemies, then go to the next section with a cutscene and so forth. You don't have to do the PvP one, even though they're really encouraging and really hoping people go for the PvP because esports is a big thing right now.
Yeah.
I just wanted to throw that out there. I was wrong, and I wanted to. I finally had a chance to correct it.
Yay!
Thus, yay.
One thing that I was mistaken with that I didn't actually mention during it because I caught it before I said something, but I swear they said. I thought before they showed the Dark Souls 3 trailer, I thought it said something like exclusive. So I was like, oh, is it an exclusive game? But it's not, and I was like, what? I don't know where I got that. Maybe the trailer was. Maybe it was like
world obnoxious exclusive only.
Yeah.
I think it was because like I said with the Microsoft one at the beginning, it was like exclusive Microsoft Xbox One world premiere on all of them. So after a while, you started to think that was on all of them. If that makes sense. And on the ones where they skipped part of it, second you hear world premiere, you're like, okay, so it must have had all the other stuff. It's in you because it's in your head.
Yeah. Could be, yeah, I don't know. I was like, is that exclusive? But okay.
I will say I'm torn on who had the best conference conference thing. I'm torn between 2. Just gonna throw that out there. PlayStation had the shittiest. Boom, done. But
Yeah.
I'm torn between the Microsoft and Nintendo for two very opposite reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft seems more fundamentally important for the brand as a whole, with backwards compatibility and all the other type of stuff they were doing, and the HoloLens and all that type of stuff, which did seem pretty cool. On the flip side, with the Nintendo one, when I was watching it, I don't think there was like any game shown at the Nintendo one I wouldn't want to play. Like even the Legend of Zelda and the 3DS ones and stuff like that. I was like, that looks really fun. And it's like, yeah, there was no big surprises there. Like I wasn't surprised at Star Fox. The biggest surprise of that thing was, oh look, they're Muppets. But
That transform into Star Fox people.
yeah, which they turn into the Star Fox people. But the games as a whole were just more enjoyable. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for me, they resonated. Like, I like Star Fox. I like the Mario Tennis one they showed and stuff like that. I'm like, I think I might play nearly all of these. Whereas I will admit, with the Microsoft one, as much as they had a better one than the PlayStation one, like we mentioned, but like when they showed off like Gears and Halo and stuff like that, I'm like, I'm not interested in these. Now, I know other people will be, so I'm not saying it's better, like completely as fact. I'm just saying for me personally, there was less at the Microsoft one I would play, but more the Nintendo one. But the Microsoft one felt more important, so I don't know which one had the better one for me. So I'm gonna give that a tie.
They're both equally good.
Yeah, as I said, I'd give
good for different reasons.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'd give those to a tie, but I realised people may not agree with that, but that's fine. That was my opinion.
Cool. Yeah, me personally, I thought Microsoft had the best one just because I think they had some of the biggest news. And yeah, I could see that with the Nintendo one. I thought that they had a cool presentation because I love the like puppets, you know. And last year they had the robot chicken and stuff, and I think that part's really kind of cool. That when when you know like you make it beforehand basically, so it's not like a live presentation. I think that I think that they're really playing that up really well by doing interesting little skits and stuff.
Yeah, it's more cinematic.
Yeah, and Star Fox was cool. Release date for Xenoblade was cool. I don't know, some of the other games I was just like, eh. But which was through all of them. But I don't know. For me, the Microsoft one was just like they came right out of the game. I mean, it wasn't the first one. The Bethesda one was really cool, but Microsoft just had like the biggest newses. But other than that, I think the Bethesda one did one thing really well, which was they showed a lot of the games. I don't remember if I mentioned this, but I was really impressed because they're like, oh, we're going to show Fallout 4. I'm like, okay. And the dude talked for like 20 minutes about it, and they showed like, you know, it wasn't like a trailer. Like they had a trailer, but he showed elements of the game while talking about them. Like it felt
In a lot
like
of gameplay.
Yeah, like, and that's really important to me because, you know, how many times like I know, you know, they finally showed some of this game, but like last year, the Battlefront one, where it was like you see an AT-AT like leg, and that was it. Or they like talked to the developers like, we really want to make this game. I'm like, I don't give a shit. You know, people really want to play this game. We don't care how much you want to make it. We want to see it. And I was, you know, pleasantly surprised of Bethesda didn't have a whole lot of games, but they showed a lot of the game, and that I thought was really important and really set them apart from some of the other ones.
I could see that. Third party wise, I'll say my favourite third party one was probably EA this year. Only because to me, when it comes to E3, it's supposed to be, I know this sounds cliched and we throw this out there every year and stuff, but it's special. E3 is supposed to be special. It's the big spectacle. It's the WrestleMania of video games, or Christmas for video gamers and stuff. If you care about news, because obviously Christmas is Christmas for video gamers. But still, when it comes to the E3, it's always supposed to be a bit special. And like the Microsoft one felt like a Microsoft conference. The Sony one felt like a Sony conference. The Ubisoft one felt like it existed. You know what I mean? And like the Bethesda one felt really cool and it was a little edgy and stuff, but it suited that company's brand. when it cut, which it was a really good one, and there was some great news announced there. But when it cut to the E3, when it cut to the EA one, it was a fucking spectacle. Like you had like the zombie mascot come out. You had fucking Pele come on the stage, which was fucking awesome. You had all the Battlefront stuff, and they treated mobile gaming as important as console gaming, which I know some console gamers don't like mobile gaming and vice versa and stuff like that, but there's always this stigma with video games where it's like, oh, PC's better than console. Oh, console's better than iOS. Oh, iOS is better than this. And it's like, EA didn't look at that. They just said, look, you're a gamer. Enjoy, and just showed off a spectacle of everything, and it felt like that presentation felt really special to me, if that makes sense. Like, it felt like I was watching something that was meant for E3. It was meant for the big stage, and I'm like, I like that.
That's really cool. I still think my most enjoyable fun was just Bethesda because of Fallout, like, just because of that. Because, like, fuck everything else. That's what I wanted. That was what I wanted. Though I probably would say second Nintendo, just because I play most of the stuff. Although Microsoft did have a lot of, you know what, they're all equal. Microsoft, the Bethesda one, those three are all equal, because I enjoyed them all equally, because of all of their stuff. Because Microsoft, I think, had the No Man's Sky thing and stuff like that, right?
That was Sony.
Oh, sorry. That one was wrong then. I enjoyed that particular part of it. That's the only thing I enjoyed from Sony.
Yeah, that part was cool.
Yeah, and what was the dude with the cane? Like the actual guy who was using the cane unironically? That was cool.
Oh.
That guy was cool.
What was he for? Was that for
He was
Honor?
talking about some fantasy game or something, but he had a cane like for reals, like because he's like old.
Yeah. I like that guy's voice. He had like one of those like deeper voices.
Yeah, he was cool.
Was he the For Honor? Do you remember?
I think he might have been. I don't remember. I don't really remember the game. I just remember him.
And yeah, like we talked about in the other when we reviewed the conference, the PlayStation one wasn't a complete 100% nothing good. Like you mentioned, No Man's Sky and stuff. It did have some good stuff.
Yeah.
It was just a disaster, and in various parts, and just part of it just felt really dull. Like, we get why you're showing The Last Guardian and stuff like that, but did you need to show quite as much?
And really,
There's an old expression. There's an old expression. Less is more. Now, I think Sony went with the other expression of less is more. So imagine how much more would be. That's how I think Sony looked at that.
And also, they didn't check their freaking thing before doing the Uncharted stuff. Like, I don't know. I feel like, how did you not check if the controller was going to die, or at least, press play beforehand to make sure it works?
Was that a controller issue?
I don't know.
I read it didn't sync. It was synced to the console, but it didn't. The console wasn't responding to it, so they had to switch to the backup unit, which worked. And apparently they had a video if the backup didn't work.
Yeah, I read on one of the places, I can't remember where that it was a system error on that particular PS4 because it's the demo one, not the actual PS4. So it wasn't quite perfected for some of the home stuff. It was for the developers stuff, and they tried it on multiple and couldn't get anything to work. And then it was like, okay, it worked. And I'm like, okay. Fair enough. And yeah, like you said, I've seen people afterwards, Rick, say what you said because I know you've seen people, not what you said this, of people like, well, that's even better because it just proves they were playing it live. And I'm like, it's not better if it fucked up.
Seriously.
Yeah, it's not as funny as when Peter Moore hit the he paused Rock Band. That was amazing, but. Years ago. I don't know if you remember
that. I could see that. I think I remember that when one of them put, like you said, the pause that, which was
he was like
cool.
jamming on the controller and hit the pause button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How amazing! If on the Microsoft one, it's like, I don't know, they're playing, say, like Monopoly or something like that, or a game that uses Kinect functionality or something like that. Yeah, we're really playing this in the studio right now. And then you just hear the Xbox will now take a photo, and it goes boom. It just cuts to like some random fucking dude like with his hands behind his head in his underwear, like in a fucking like developmental place backstage, hooking up the
I want him to
wires.
not be wearing a shirt.
Yeah.
And he's like, starting to move out of the range. Like, it's not necessarily it's blurry, but you can tell that he's like moving away. Like he's like, oh, the camera. It's like snap. You just see a guy like without a shirt trying to dive out of the way. Just be like, nice. They should do that for fun. But yeah,
that would be amazing. I feel like they couldn't do that for fun though. Sadly, I want them to do that for fun. Like we said, that'd be hilarious. However, I feel a load of the people that we joked about at the beginning, stuck in the past, would then look at that and go, see, Xbox is always watching you. It's like, it was meant as a joke. See, always watching you. I hate you people so much.
yeah.
Like I said, it's one thing to hate a console or not to like a console or product based on stuff you've experienced or stuff like that. But to hate it based on stuff that they've actually changed and never released seems stupid.
It's because you're the asshole who never bothered to, educate your fucking self.
Yeah, ignorance is no reason.
Yeah.
However, I will say with the Xbox One, I am curious about the new UI, because like I've mentioned, there's two things with the new UI I am curious about, Rick.
Mm-hmm.
Will it be fucking easier to categorize stuff in the store, please? I hate that store. Where you got a choice. I don't want all and just not using it. I want categories. Like I said, the PlayStation Store and Steam and stuff, they're not perfect, like the Nintendo one and stuff. Each one may have some sort of different flaw. But at least, let's say Richter's like, you know what I want today? Mrs. Wife played, and she's like, what would you like, dear? He's like, I want to play an RPG. He should be able to look on his Xbox store at the RPG section and boom, see a list of all the RPGs on the store.
That's a lie. Richter would say JRPG.
They're still RPGs.
I played.
Okay. I'm just trying to put it into a realistic setting that I can imagine.
Yeah, but no, I just think that'd be cool. If you know what I mean, because like I said, that's basic functionality of okay, you want a sports game, click sports category. You want an action adventure, click action adventure. You want platformer and so forth. I hate all because you have to scroll through absolutely everything in the release date order to get to what you want. It's like,
I just want a new release section so I know what came out this week or within the past 7 days or something. Because I honestly don't even use the Sony store on the console anymore because there's 3 different consoles. So I just every Tuesday afternoon I just go on the webpage and I just just new this week and I just browse through everything. Even though there's lots of crappy avatars and themes up there, it's pretty quick.
See, I'll admit what I do with the PlayStation one is I click the blog once a week. And just read all the list of the stuff that's there and just scroll down it to see if there's anything I'm interested in.
Does it cover everything in the blog? I thought they only talked about games and stuff.
They talk about games, add-ons,
oh, okay.
And just the stuff I care about at least. They may not cover avatars.
No, yeah. Just whenever I see it, it only just mentions a couple of games, but it doesn't mention any other.
I just check on the flash sales and the plus.
Like I said, I don't know if the blogs, because obviously the blogs will be different because I'm using the European blog to check my stuff. Sure. Ours has all games, and it's new releases on PS4, new releases on PS3, new releases on Vita, DLC on PS3, DLC on PS4, DLC on Vita, then sales, then sometimes it has other stuff that's on the store, like new apps and stuff, and I'm like, cool. It saves me having to do, like you said, reading multiple stores.
Yeah, that's why I just do it on the site because sometimes the blog misses stuff. So.
See, I could have muted Dan when I sneeze, but at least now people know we're filming this live.
So yeah, I just go on. I just check the new this week and then the deals. Oh, right. Just to let any of our viewers know real quick, there's supposed to be a flash sale this weekend. So
Nice.
Check
I'm
the
still
store.
gonna buy Flash Season 1.
there you go. Can't you just watch it? Do you have to buy it?
I have seen all of Flash Season 1, but I will still be buying the DVD. To complete my Arrow box sets collection. But I love buying box sets, I do. But yeah, it's a case of with the... I'd love that on one of the stores one week. Flash sale, so everyone's like, cool! And you click it and you just see like, Injustice, Flash Season 1. And you're like, I see what you did there, I don't like this.
And of course, DCU stuff.
Yeah, DCU stuff. It's gone from free to play to we give you money to play.
Ah,
You know, I'd play it if they gave me money to play.
Is it wrong? I probably still wouldn't. I'm like, no, I can't be arsed downloading that. I'll have my own money. You'd have to give me hundreds to play that piece of crap again. I hate that game.
100.
But the second thing with the new UI, I wanted more information on Katanu.
Cortana.
That's it. What did you say?
Cortana.
Cortana.
Chick
Yeah.
from Halo.
Play Halo 1 or 2. You'll
I
probably
have
remember.
played 1 or 2,
You
but I
have to
can't remember how to
rush up
pronounce it. Yeah, but the reason why is the new UI, it's using not Siri, and I'm like, I can say Xbox Bing. I don't want to have to be like Xbox or Kataru or I can't pronounce it. I feel like I'm gonna have to Ash from Evil Dead 3 it and just go Kataru and hope it works.
The Legend of Cortana. That's the one that was the sequel to The Last Airbender.
So like I said, I'm hoping you still got the option to Bing it. Because I like saying Xbox Bing and then saying like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Boom, it goes. And I have to say that's one thing I will give props to right now. The voice recognition on the Xbox One is fucking awesome. Only because I've said Halo, and it goes straight to Halo when I was looking. Because I'm considering getting Spartan Assault.
Oh, okay. I have that.
Hey, cool. Yeah, I was considering getting that, and so was the Crispy, because we were like, well, we can team up and play each other. Cool. So I was like, how much is this? And let's see the other stuff. And I saw the movie there, which I'm tempted to buy the film or buy the Master Chief collection that has the film. And when I was like, okay, cool. But you know what I mean? When I was like Halo, normally I've used voice chat on Google when they've had it on Chrome and stuff, and I've searched for that exact thing. Not because I'm a massive Halo fan. I've searched for something for Crispy, and I was like Halo, and it comes up, hello, and I'm like, no, I wasn't greeting you. Halo. Hello. No, stop this. You have one job. And that's like when Stacy then goes, let me try. Pigman, and it comes up Pikmin. I'd like, fuck off, we're done here. We are officially done. You say Pikmin.
It has
Pikmin.
It has the East Coast filter on.
Yeah. But I love the fact with the Xbox One, something they've done with that, which I haven't seen on the PlayStation One, is you can download the voice recognition stuff. So, which I'm going to be downloading that in the next couple of weeks when I'm not playing anything, and basically sit down and you just go through it and you just read all the words, and it helps them better understand accents and voices and stuff. And I'm like, that is brilliant. That is really helpful. I really hope dicks don't download that and see like the word car and go potato. Just to, fuck up the system.
Yeah.
But I feel like they'll know.
Yeah, probably. I think it'd be funny if it did that and it's like, that's not the word that's on the screen. And then it like has a giant middle finger that appears to
That would be amazing.
like, Xbox, record that. And it's like, I can't hear you. Like, no one will believe me.
Yeah. I'd love that if you read the wrong word deliberately to be a dick. It's something like that, or the new head of Microsoft, the Xbox division, giving, like you said, like the flip it off or something, or even better, potato, and Xbox and goes, oh, we can missay things too. Did you say you wish me to erase your hard drive? Hmm?
Or it just goes, I'm sorry, I won't search child pornography. And you're like, no, that's not what I... Oh, God.
The authorities have been
Did you say
aborted.
dial NSA? Interpol is on the way to your house.
Yes. But no, like, which me and Rick do in the future, sometime next month, July, we'll be reviewing the Xbox One on the Gaming Zone. So I will finally have, because I already asked that in advance. I did ask him now, because I reviewed Wii U, I reviewed PS4, I should review Xbox One.
Yeah,
It may be out of date
sense.
as fuck, because I didn't buy that one at launch, but
Makes sense though.
Who did? No one heard about it at launch.
Rick did?
No.
Wait, you're here?
I am here. I bought it when
Mind blown.
the white one came out for Sunset Overdrive, so...
Yeah, that's the one that I was gonna get. I was thinking
Yeah.
about.
Oh, dude, did you see that blue one? Totally off topic, the Forza one. I don't even
Yeah.
want that game, but that comes nice. I'm like, oh, blue.
I like one.
Oh, I want that. I didn't think
It
they did. I'm
does.
probably gonna get the controller, but oh, that looks so.
It's like I loved, was it the I think it was the 360, and I know the other ones have done this too. Like when it showed off the Halo one, or no, Call of Duty one. When I had the Call of Duty one, it was all camo. I'm like, oh, that's fucking awesome. Although part of me one thinks, oh, it's camouflage, and I go over to press the button, oh, I'm gonna be like, where's my console? I like the idea of when I say that, Rick is just looking at the screen of like the Fry meme of not sure if sarcastic or dumb. Xbox, locate Xbox.
I can't.
An arm comes out. I'm here. Yeah, I can't do that.
That's the
It's camouflage.
Cybox.
But yeah, like I said, E3 was really fun. There was some surprises, but there wasn't any major. I don't think this year had any big surprises. Like I can't think of anything that took me by too much surprise. Like the biggest
backwards compatibility for me. Definitely.
Yeah, but that see because what reason I was on about the surprises for me at least is like the backwards compatibility. I was expecting it a tiny bit going into E3 because a Reddit user posted what was going to be at E3, and when I was actually reading it, it was like pretty much everything there in order.
You dirt cheated it.
I did, because I was
You read all
trying
the
to
spoilers and you're like, there was nothing I didn't expect there. Gosh.
I would make the case it's not the same with video
okay.
games, because you can't, because it's not really a spoiler. With that one, I was trying to write a list for us of, because like we were going to do our lists, which we ended up cancelling that video. We were going to do a list of what we were looking forward to at E3. So I looked at what was going to be there, and I saw like all the lists, and a few sites had it up as well of backwards compatibility for Xbox One rumored, and all the games, like even Star Fox and stuff, and the only one that was a surprise was World of Final Fantasy. But as much as I'm excited for that, I don't think anyone here is like, that was a massive surprise. I was blown away by World of Final Fantasy.
Fucking shit, shady like people in Final Fantasy and stuff that I've already seen. Oh.
I know.
Questionably
Who'd wanna
incestuous
play-
siblings. What?
Yeah. Who'd want to replay through a Final Fantasy style and shit you've already experienced? So how is Kingdom Hearts 3 going to be, Pew?
Huh. I don't know. It's weird. They had these fucking chess pieces and they didn't really show off any gameplay. And it's like, who the fuck are you? Who are you? I don't know who any of these characters are. There's too much shit in between that I gave up on playing, that I don't understand the story anymore.
I thought they showed gameplay. I may have
Okay,
been wrong.
they
I
showed
thought
that part, but I didn't understand the story part.
that's not the same thing.
That's what I meant. They showed off the gameplay, but it didn't make sense because they didn't know the story part.
Now, if you think story is the same as gameplay, you're gonna love The Last of Us.
It's just,
God, that
what
game
the
is
fuck are you
terrible.
doing? Who are you talking to? Why are you playing chess? Shouldn't you be go fighting Heartless or something?
They have announced that they're gonna have the Tangled and stuff in it too, which that's kind of cool.
That's cool.
I know.
But I will admit, one of the games I wanted to be at E3, like I mentioned to you guys afterwards, was because I'd seen it the year before and stuff at E3, and now I finally have an Xbox One. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be excited for this game. Bring on Scalebound. That's gonna be at the next. That's gonna be at the next conference. I'm like, fuck off! I'm not watching an episode of Dragon Ball Z. I don't want you to be like, and next time on the next exciting episode of Dragon Ball Z. It's like, no, fuck off! Just show me everything now. This is E3. You show everything. It's like when I find out at Comic Con this year, the films not going are the Marvel films and the Sony Marvel films. I'm like, wait, Marvel films aren't gonna be at Comic Con? Oh god, but stuff like probably Pixels and some of the other shit done, you know what I mean? Like non-comic films will probably be there. I'm gonna be like, how? This is wrong. You're doing it wrong.
Stop making me hurt.
Yeah. But no, like I said, E3 this year as well. One of the big things for me was, like I mentioned to you guys, it was too much on one day. Like they added I feel like the Bethesda conference and the PC ones weren't there last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not complaining. I'm just saying I think those two were added, and as a result,
very overwhelmed.
As a result, they grouped everything together way too compact. What they should do is extend E3 by an extra day or two.
If you're gonna have that many conferences, because I seriously felt overwhelmed. Like, I literally spent maybe 2 days straight of just non-stop fucking watching conferences, and I'm like, it all blends together. I don't even know it was at anything anymore. Too much.
Yeah.
Well, I think they did it. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I don't know if you'd agree with it. It should be extended to like the full week now.
Well, I think the reason they had the conferences all grouped up is because, as far as I'm understanding it, the conferences, like the stuff that they showed was out on the show floor. So I think that they did that so it would be like, not necessarily 100% surprise, but it'd be like a bigger announcement or like kind of a surprise. Because if, Star Fox was there and let's say the Nintendo thing was going to be shown on like Thursday or something, on Wednesday or whatever, when they opened it, people would be like, oh, Star Fox Zero is there. And then when you see them talking about it, it doesn't mean as much. You're like, oh, well, I already read about it. It's kind of like those, like, oh, we have to do this first kind of thing.
I could see that.
Gaming journalists will kill each other to be like, oh, look, we have the world exclusive first people to play Star Fox Zero. And
yeah, I could totally see that. Which what they should what they should do with that is spread out E3 more. And like, if you know the Sony conference is on you're gonna make it day 2, don't put their games out on the floor till day 2 and just rotate some of the games. It's like there's more things they could do, you know what I mean, to make it bigger. Because it's like one thing I'm hoping they do is, when they do the Oculus Rift and Project Morpheus, how cool would that be if you can actually pop on the helmet and walk around E3?
They should.
It'll have to be. It wouldn't be live because otherwise someone's going to be taking you where you're going, but after like the day or two afterwards, like walk around and see all the booths and all the statues and stuff, you'd be like, oh my god, that's amazing. Oh my god, I'm watching someone play Star Fox, yay!
Yeah, they couldn't have you actually play it. That would mean they'd have to put a demo up, and then gaming journalists wouldn't feel special if other people could do that.
Yep.
They're journalists, they're already not special.
I know, right?
That's what I said before now as well. If the demos on E3, put them on the fucking stores like a few days after E3. I can understand you want the journalists to have like access to them. That's their job, and you're basically doing this so they'll give you more praise. Okay, fair enough. But for the regular people that can't go, that want to see these demos and would give you more hype, give us the demo like the next week.
Yeah, well, that's my thing. Is like not everyone that wants to go can. So why would you reward the people that can pay like $500 or whatever it is for a ticket, plus a plane ticket? Like, that's ridiculous.
In a hotel and
Yeah.
food.
I'm thinking that would be why. Because they paid the 500. It's like, why reward people by giving them console exclusive games? Why not put them all on the? Why not just put everything on PC?
No, but retailer exclusives are anyway. A lot of that stuff is anti like consumer basically. It's it's rewarding the haves, which is not cool.
I could kind of see that. Although, like I said, I can understand. Like I can understand part of it, but part of it. Also like, well, if they spent their money on it, it's like I can't go to Disneyland, but although I'm hoping to go next year or something, but I can't go to Disneyland or Comic Con. But if someone's got the money to go, they should totally enjoy what they spend their money on.
Yeah, but that's if Disneyland was only open for a week and half the people got to go for free, I'd be annoyed.
I would also see that.
Like if E3 was the whole time, then yeah, it wouldn't be. Also, I would think that if you could, actually try the demos like a week later at home, there'd be less people that would spend $500. And
I could also,
they of course wouldn't like that because they'd be like, "Oh, that's less money for us." And it's like, shut up, you're already, overblown. Remember, you guys crashed like 10 years ago because you're doing what you're doing now. But sure, whatever.
Yeah, and even if they're worried about the fact, like you said, they might worry about, that means less people will spend the 500. Okay, don't give us every demo, but still give us a lot. Like, you had Uncharted 4 playable. That's a big hit on the PS4. Put that, as much as I don't like Uncharted, that one would be on the store. I was excited for World of Final Fantasy, but less people might be interested in that, so it's just going to eat up bandwidth that being on the store. Don't put that on there. Fair enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think one of the reasons you go is like the swag. So like if it was, and you're not going to get that later, so I don't see why the demos can be there.
Yeah, I feel the reason you go is, like you said, the swag and also the experience of going. It's like, I can go to cinema like I did to see Jurassic World, and I'll be like, this is awesome. However, it'll still come out later on to home media on Blu-ray and stuff. It'll just take like a year, but to be fair, that's when the full games of E3 come out. But still,
oh my God,
that's regardless.
I want
not
that.
all of them.
I want people that go to the theater to complain that something comes out later on VHS or not on DVD. Oh my God, dude! I can't believe that came out. Oh, it just cheapens my experience.
I can't believe the movie theater. What's that? They gave me the whole fucking movie. I went in there. I paid the ticket, Rick, to see Jurassic World. And this might just be because I'm a gamer, Rick, but that annoyed me. I went in there and I sat down and I watched the movie. And I was like, this is weird. I'm watching the whole thing. They're not just suddenly saying, oh, do you like raptors? You're going to have to spend an extra £5 to include this character in the movie. And I'm like, what?
That's what they should do with reshoots. That's just a patch.
Yeah.
We had to reshoot this scene. Oh, it's a patch.
I feel like they could totally do that with films, with deleted scenes. Like after the deleted scenes, clean up the stuff, make it look really good, like some of the episode 1 and 2 and stuff, DVDs and extra features and stuff did. And then release some later as DLC that you can or cannot choose to replace an existing scene with or insert back into the film. However, it's a slippery slope because I feel movies will deliberately keep out scenes. Much like games deliberately keep out content.
Don't movies deliberately keep out scenes? Feels like they do.
Well,
yeah, sometimes,
like special 4 hours of commentary that you only get in the super extra bundle edition that we didn't include on the regular edition because you don't want to hear some dude say the exact same thing in 9 million different ways.
Yeah. Because I will say, films have a better release stuff than games. Like I don't know, even Lord of the Rings, for example, where they were like, okay, there's going to be an extended edition later on. But the reason they cut it down for the cinema, as much as I don't like the Lord of the Rings film, the reason they cut it down for the cinema is people probably wouldn't sit in the cinema as long as the extended edition.
Yeah, no, some make sense. Well,
some do make sense.
I remember some deleted scenes, and you're like, oh, that makes sense. Like, it fits, and it's like a minute or two, and you're like, if you had left that in, one of the problems with the plot wouldn't have been there because you would have understood that. And I'm like, really? Is like, and these weren't like ones that were like 2.5 hours to begin with. They were like, what? I guess it's not normal anymore, but they were like, hour and a half, and it's like, really, a couple extra minutes wouldn't have killed it, but it would have made it a better thing because you would have been like, oh, everything would have flowed better. But,
yeah, I see that all the time. The only time I can excuse that would be episode 3 of Star Wars. If you remember, did you see the Qui-Gon ghost thing? Or I'm not sure who here saw that deleted scene and saw it in the comic and stuff.
They said it was supposed to be in there. They were gonna explain it, and then I don't remember the scene though.
They had a scene. It's on the deleted scene on the DVD, and it was in the comic and the book and stuff. Basically, the character of Qui-Gon comes back as a ghost and explains to him how they can come back through the Force of Spirits later on, thus explaining it later on. Cool. The only reason that scene was cut was because they couldn't get Liam Neeson in on time for when the film, and they'd have to delay the film and stuff. So like, oh, okay, fine. People accepted the fact this wasn't explained previously. You know what I mean? So they're like, okay, fair enough. I'm like, I can excuse that one because you didn't have the actor. Fair enough, he was busy or he was ill or something like that. So it's like, fair enough. But yeah, like you said, some of the ones where it's like, this is, when you watch the deleted scene, you're like, this actually explains shit. Or the one that annoys me is some alternate ones where you're like, that's better.
Yeah.
Like the Wolverine, where the ending, he lifts it up and inside he's got the yellow costume. Oh. It was so beautiful. And it's the exact same scene as the ending, but he gets given a yellow costume. Why is that not better? And they're like, no, we cut that. Why? Because we decided he's not going to wear the yellow costume later on. I'm like, oh, I like the yellow costume. But yeah, like I said, E3. Like I said, it was too compact, I feel like, because like we said, yeah, everything bled together.
It felt very overwhelming, and then it was underwhelming afterwards.
And it's even worse when you have Microsoft, EA, and both of those two showed Plants v Zombies and stuff, so you couldn't tell which one showed which stuff.
Yeah. Oh man.
or like Ubisoft, and I think EA did as well with that, and then PlayStation, and they had some stuff in both too, and you're like, oh, can't you just keep them straight? You know what I mean? Like one thing per one. I understand, like, the Microsoft showing Plants vs. Zombies was because I believe it started on 360. Or at least the first one was on 360 first, so that's cool. And I understand respecting its roots, but either give them the entire Plants vs. Zombies thing, or just keep it for the EA one. I don't want little bits that then later on will be in other ones, and it's like, it's just going to bleed, like, add to the bleed effect unless you're spread out better. But that might just be me.
No, it totally bled into effect too, because like they had the Fallout one where the biggest one was the Bethesda, and then they had like little snippets of other ones that weren't the Bethesda one, and I forget which other, some other conference as well, and I'm like, what? No, what? Why?
Yeah.
Well, I think they do that because I don't agree with this, but there's got to be people that watch one, and I'm like, what? Like even if you don't have a Wii U, you should probably watch the Nintendo one because they're gonna try to sell you on one. Like you should see. It just feels there's probably people that are just like, well, I only have a PS4, so I just watch the Sony one. It's like, don't cater to those people. It's not a huge time investment to watch all of them or to read the news later if you really don't want to watch them. So yeah, like I would prefer that they not just put lots of like bits of ones and other ones because then it's like, wait, did they show that at this one or this one? I don't even know anymore.
Yeah, the only time I can excuse it is if it's like I said, I don't like it. The only time I can excuse it is if it's like, let's say Plants v Zombies at the Microsoft one, it's shown off. This isn't a Microsoft exclusive content that we'll have, and it's just pictures and tell you the content. Cool. And then the trailers at the EA one. That one I can excuse.
Yeah.
But if it's just a trailer and then a trailer, you're like, no, it's the same, but the other one's better. The EA one's longer, and I feel like, wait, what? So I also feel like part of that maybe because I know people are so stuck in the past with EA as well. Like people will be like people still think that meme of it's like, I know something is so bad. If EA's on the box, it's I won't buy it if EA is on the box. Oh, your favorite game, but EA's on the box. You're like, no, that's the past. They've gotten better. Like even you've mentioned in the past as well, Rick. They've gotten better. They've learned. They've evolved.
Yeah.
They've got rid of people who were the bad. They're no longer the worst company. People will probably still be like, I'm not watching EA one. Why? It's fucking EA. Ugh. And I'm like, what? It reminds me sort of like, but why with PC gaming when everyone's like, ugh, Steam is so much better than Origin. Why? Because fuck EA. And EA is Origin is more constructive. It's more consumer. It's more anti-consumer than Steam. And you're like, but if you actually compare the terms and conditions, they're the exact same thing. But EA's is more, I don't know what you'd call it, but accurate. Whereas the Steam one is a little bit more vague, so it feels like they can trap you. But it feels like people will look at that and be like, well, it's pretty vague. It won't affect me. I'm like, that's not how this works.
Too true.
At least with the Origin one, I can actually call people up on the fucking phone and be like, yo, I don't know what to do. Because, like, I did that with the Origin one to get my, what was it? Fuck, my what do you call it? Keep, that's it. Keep thing to work.
I tried that with the keep, and I said, no, because my love interest, I chose this person, but you've given me this one. They're like, well, I think you'll find that was a better love interest. How dare you pick that other one? I mean, what type of individual would choose that? And I'm like, what? How dare you? You were supposed to be playing as this type of hero. Based on your choices, you were this type of character. That love interest sort of goes against that. You really want to force that relationship? Ugh, how very angsty of you. And I'm like, fuck you! No.
That'd be an amazing sketch to do.
Yeah, I'm kidding, but that would just take the piss so much. And like, it just goes through your choices and be like, well, you chose a really nice, heroic character, but the person you chose as your love interest, yeah, it's such a villain. Ugh. Oh, I see. You're trying to change him, make him a better person. Ugh. How very Delana or Spuffy of you. I don't know what that means. You should follow more ships.
It's kind of amazing.
Looking forward to Mass Effect Andromeda. Oh, fuck
Woo.
yeah. And I'm also equally unexcited for Mass Effect Andromeda. Fuck yeah. Because apparently it might be more like Dragon Age Inquisition. Because everything nowadays needs to be a fucking open world game.
I hope they take the good parts of it and then like also like keep the story how it is and then just open it up but also focus on the story.
Yeah, like it should be optional how much, or at least have something where you can do the side stuff, but you don't need to advance the story or something like that. Like Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, I didn't feel while you needed to do some side stuff to get perfect endings, it never felt like you were forced into it.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, you didn't play Mass Effect 1 or Mass Effect 2, or I think it was just if you hadn't played Mass Effect 1 or Mass Effect 2 and played Mass Effect 3, then you needed to do the multiplayer, but which fuck that. But it was a case of, you know what I mean? With the side quests of the actual story, like whether or not you like all the Mass Effect games, they were all focused on the story. The story was important in all three of them. This one feels like the story's going to take a back seat to, oh yeah, it's an open world game. Why? Because saying the phrase open world makes gamers go, yay! I'm like, that's the new thing, isn't it, Rick? Open world is literally the new thing. It's the new team deathmatch mode.
That's funny.
That's what I feel. I feel open world is the new forced multiplayer. Or tagged on multiplayer. Speaking of, did you hear Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to be multiplayer? What?
I heard they were considering multiplayer.
They said they're considering it, but they said they're going to do it, and it's not going to be tacked on. Like, they've got ideas, and they're going to evolve it and stuff. Chances are it's probably going to be DLC or something, but it sounds like it's going to be co-op, not fucking forced. Like, oh yeah, it's my Sora v your Sora. Let's see whose fanfic character is the best. Oh, that's cute. You're still using your starter blade? Cool. No. But did Rick want to take us out?
Sure. So there you have it. Some thoughts on final thoughts on E3 and a couple other things, as per usual. So I'd like to thank everyone here for joining us.
And thank you.
And so be here next Wednesday while we go through some more games we played and some more news in the video gaming world. Thank you very much for joining us, and good night.
Night.